Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 171 of the Run in the Paint podcast. I'm Miles here with Ben and Nick. Guys, how are you doing today?
Feeling good. Feeling great. What's up, fellas? Hi, everybody.
We are back, and we are back for another episode here. And in the beginning of December here, Ben and I finally back home. Our winter breaks here for college. Crazy, we're already at this point, but definitely excited to be back and talk about some NBA Cup games. We are in the really the final four of the NBA Cup, so we've got some games to recap and then preview later. So should be a lot of fun. But to get things started, we have Hurdle. Ben, sounds like you've got the money player today. Who is the first guest for this episode?
Well, I was thinking, I'm like, well, this could be a good one. Let's try Desmond Bain.
Desmond Bain, someone who we will definitely talk about, who was on fire in the NBA Cup. All right, this is going to be a 6-6 forward in the
Ooh,
Southeast Division of the
oh
Eastern
yes,
Conference.
this is a good guess.
Either
Pretty
20
good. All right.
either 26 or 25 years old.
Somebody on the Atlanta Hawks, maybe? They got a lot of guys who are long wings like that, but I know Zach Reese a little younger, but I don't know if Nikhil Alexander Walker fits. Is it
25.
possible to get Pirtle on the first guess? Like, if it was Desmond Bain loaded in, would it just pop up?
Yeah. I
That'd
think it
be
would have to if we guessed the correct player on the first try. All right, so this will be a Heat, Hawk, Wizard, or a who am I
Hor-
forgetting?
the Hornets,
Hornet.
right?
Hornet. Um, 26 or 25 years old that wears a number 6 or above.
Six
Uh,
foot six. Not Walker.
I don't think so because he's been in the league since like 2019, so this is his 7th year in the league. So I don't. It could be him. I think he is. What number does he wear? I
I
don't
thought it was a
remember.
low number.
I think it is a single digit one, but I can't remember off the top of my head what
Wasn't he
he.
00 in Minnesota?
I think it was just number 0 or number 6 or something like that. Let's see, Ben. You have any thoughts?
Hmm.
Well, I got one.
I mean, I was thinking like Tyler Hero maybe, but I don't think he's 6'6".
Jaime?
Ooh, Jaime could
Oh
be.
wait,
Although
it's a
let's see, is
it's
he
a four,
third
not a
year
guard.
third year player? Yeah, that's the thing. This is someone that isn't a guard. This is gonna flat out be a forward. So
Great,
Jaime Hake isn't
forgot
bad.
that.
Simone Fontecchio is on the Heat. I'm not sure how old he is, but
Pele
that's
Larson?
Ty Larson, 2nd-year player. Um, we could throw out a guess here to try to figure this out.
Do you guys want to go with Larson, Fontecchio, or Hawkeyes? I like those guesses.
I know Larson will be a guard in this.
Really?
Yeah, he's definitely he's like a 2 guard. Um, Ben, which one do you want to go with? What are you thinking?
Speaking, I don't know, Fontecchio.
All right, let's go with it. Simone Fontecchio. Oh man. Oh, he's number
Ooh.
0. That's right. I forgot about that.
Well, he's not in the Heat.
Oh yeah, and he's 30. Wow. So let's
Um,
see. Forward.
so he's
Forward.
on the Hornets, the Magic, or the Hawks.
Or the Hornets, the Hawks, or the Wizards.
Oh my bad. Hornets, Hawks, Wizards. Could Koulibaly fit?
I was just thinking about him. I know he switched his jersey number from 0, but I don't know what it is. But I don't mind that at all. Let's try it. I feel good about that one. Oh my gosh, it is a Wizard.
Uh,
I
Isn't the
swear
other
I swear he switched his jersey number.
Justin Champagny on Washington?
Oh yeah, the other Champagne is on the Wizards. Corey Kispert. Um,
We should have known
what are
Koulibaly wouldn't fit the age. That was a bad guess.
yeah.
Somehow we
Let's
got
see.
two number zeros, so you might as well throw Nikhil Alexander Walker up there.
Well, no, this is a Wizard. This is a
I know. I'm
Wizard
just
player.
joking. I'm just joking.
Uh, let's see. Ben, what do you think? Champagne or Kispert?
I give Champagne.
All right, Justin Champagne. Oh
Wow.
my goodness.
What?
We got the height.
They didn't
Maybe
take
it's
Dang.
Corey Kispert?
Kisper. I wasn't thinking Kisper was a forward. I thought guard for him.
Yeah, I think he'd be a guard slash forward too, but he's like the only other one that I think would make sense.
I'll go with Kispert.
Let's try it out. Let's
Yeah,
try it
let's
out.
try him. Guess.
There it is. Corey Kispert is
Well, what's him?
gone.
Okay.
We were stuck in the Southeast Division for that
Okay.
one, and that's where we'll start here as we move on from Pearl and talk about these NBA Cup games. We'll go back to Tuesday for the first day of NBA Cup knockout round play with the Miami Heat and the Orlando Magic facing off, Florida versus Florida, in a battle of two teams that have been on opposite starts to the season, although they've ended up having similar records. Where the Heat started off really strong, have struggled a little bit as of late. Reverse for the Orlando Magic. And to start things off, Miami scored the first 15 points. Their fast paced offense was looking ridiculous. But then, Ben, the Magic came back and ended up getting a big time victory, winning this game 117 to 108, thanks to an incredible performance by Desmond Bain with 37 points.
Yeah, the Magic. It was impressive how they were just able to come back and find a way, step it up. Now, Franz, of course, now out with injury. Desmond Bain, he's now starting to finally come on for the Magic. He's a big scoring games these last few games. He had a big one in that game. So, yeah, the Magic got the Desmond Bain. I was, hopefully looking forward to seeing with them against the Heat in a big game. And overall, the Magic have playing the better basketball recently, and yeah, other guys came in and just stepped it up on both ends. No Franz, who was playing really well when they needed to, and they're pretty good about defending their home court. The Magic.
Yeah, Nick, what do you think was the biggest turnaround after that electric start from the Heat? Because everything was clicking for Miami to start, but then it turned around quickly after that first quarter.
Yeah, honestly, the Heat just stopped making shots. Like, the way that their offense is set up, well, they shot 8 for, what was it? They shot like 8 for 24, I think, from deep.
8 for 33,
Yeah, I
24%.
mean, yeah, it's a rough night. Especially because like I don't know how much you pay attention to like how much like they're kind of spearheading this offense push in the NBA. Like it's a lot of different guys touching the basketball, low usage from all five guys on the court. And so it's all based on driving and kicking. And well, Orlando has long guys who clog the paint, like Isaac and Franz and even their guards, Anthony Black, Suggs, and second year player Jet Howard. Um, so if you're not getting downhill, that you're not getting those paint touches, you're gonna have more contested threes and yeah, the Orlando Magic I think just stepped up their defense. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, I think the Heat definitely did start missing shots in that third quarter, Ben. Especially there were some wide open there weren't a whole lot of times where they were getting open looks, but the few times they got open looks from guys like Norman Powell, Tyler Hero, who have been very good this season, especially Norman Powell. They were just missing. Like there were like 3 to 4 air balls in the second half from those guys, and you're just like, wow, the Magic defense. I mean, we know the Magic to have a good,
Yeah.
defensive squad, but they were definitely, you know, tiring out the Heat. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think the Magic made some good adjustments with their defense and figured out that, they just gotta be more physical, have some more energy on that and, step it up there. And they delivered with that, and it just wore the heat out after, Miami just was feeling it to start that game.
And we know
Yeah. Or Nick, go ahead. Go ahead.
like a lot of us had Orlando top 3 or top 4 in our preseason rankings and stuff. So like even though they're not at full strength right now, like Paolo's still out, but I think Paolo's out, right? Is that do they have any other big injuries?
Well, so
Oh,
Paulo recently
Paulo
came
was
back,
bit.
and then Franz hurt himself on Sunday, I believe.
Either way,
So
like they're playing for money in this NBA Cup, and you get to see a version that's close to what it hopefully will look like by the end.
yeah, I think Ben, that's the thing that's been difficult about this Magic team is, they're pretty good so far. Franz has been their leading scorer and now he's out again, but now maybe a chance for Paolo Banchero to start to get some rhythm and also Desmond Bain with both of those guys getting the ball more, getting it in their spots a little bit more. How big do you think this stretch is for the Magic in getting back in rhythm for the rest of the season? Because obviously, they're now what 15-10, which is top four in the Eastern Conference right now. But obviously, they want to look to be even better than that if they want to have a serious, shot at having damage for them in the playoffs.
It's definitely a big stretch coming up for them. And yeah, the injury luck they've been having for the past couple of years
That's
is
right. That's
tough.
absolutely right.
Not great. But well, like other teams this year in the NBA, it's just got to be next man up mentality that the Magic have to have for the rest of the season tournament as long as they're still in it. Desmond Bane's got to keep stepping it up and hopefully putting up high scoring games. Paulo hopefully needs to, get even more back in the rhythm and start stepping it up even more again, get better from 3 point range with the shooting outside, and just keep playing great defense, keep playing physical, tough defense that can hopefully wear teams down. Like in the next game, you really got to be all over Brunson. Hope you could just wear them down with, I think the Magic, will give the Knicks a good game. It won't be, I think the Magic can hopefully guard the Knicks well. We've seen the Magic give the Knicks a tough time in games they played against each other this year.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll get to that preview a little bit later. But moving on from that game, let's talk about the other game in the Eastern Conference, the Knicks and the Raptors in Toronto. Another kind of situation where the Raptors have kind of tailed off a little bit, struggling as of late after their hot start, while New York has been looking really, really good as of late. They start out with a very home heavy schedule, but now playing well. They've won their last four games now, and their most recent one being that victory in Toronto for the Cup, winning 117 to 101 in a game where Mr. Jalen Brunson went crazy. Had 35 points in this game, really got himself started in the first quarter, and then as the game went along, Nick, a lot of his teammates showed up for the ride.
Yeah, that's right. And what I'll say about before we get to the preview for Orlando, like containing Miami's driving is one thing, containing Jalen Brunson is a totally different thing. I mean, like you said, he had 35 in this game, 26 of them in the first half was just like you said, cooking early. And this was a very high pace game. Like early it was 39-35 after the first. And then um Toronto just disappeared at the end of the second quarter because with like 7 minutes left, it was no, yeah, it was a 4 point game. Scotty Barnes cut it to a 4 point game, and then with under a minute, it was 67-50. And blew up to 17 points in about 5 minutes towards the end of the second quarter. And that was like I said, Jalen Brunson had 26 in the first half. So like, yeah, the Knicks did catch up, but I don't know how you game plan for Jalen Brunson.
Well, I mean, it really was crazy, Ben. First, that first quarter, like Nick said, was very high scoring, 39 to 35 in favor of the Raptors. And it was because it was basically Jalen Brunson and Brandon Ingram going at it. Brunson had 20 in the first quarter, but Brandon Ingram had 17 in the first quarter as well. But the big difference for the Raptors down the stretch is really no one else had a major impact on the game besides like Jamal Shed had 18 points and, 8 assists. Jacoby Walter had a good scoring game with 13 points. But and of course the Raptors had some injuries. No Emmanuel Quickly, no RJ Barrett in this game, but the other guys like a Scotty Barnes or even a Jakob Pertl,
Yeah.
really didn't show up.
Yeah, the Raptors are still a young team overall. Um, I think it was cool that they were able to, advance to at least the semifinals or quarterfinals in the in-season tournament stuff. But yeah, Raptors, I think will have some confidence going forward. But yeah, that loss to the Knicks is a tough one they'll need to learn from. They weren't great defensively in that game. They had a hard time stopping Brunson, as we said, and uh, yeah, with some injuries, RJ, which is tough not having RJ against his former team, the Knicks. But it's just other guys gotta step it up. It can't be just one or two guys. And Brandon Ingram had a great game and stuff, but yeah, it was disappointing. Scotty Barnes just didn't really seem to show up in that one. He's gotta. He's young. And he started to get in some more, big games like that one. But yeah, that'll be a good game, I think, for Scotty Barnes to learn from, for the team to learn from. They'll have some stuff to clean up. Need to get back on track.
So with this loss, the Raptors have now lost 6 of their last 7 games and are now 15-11 on the season. Nick, what do you think the Raptors need to do to kind of get out of this stretch here? Because they were off to a really, really good start this season. We're hot kind of in the middle of the first, 26 games, but again, struggling as of late.
I think, like you guys said, they just need to find more production from different guys. Like they have a pretty good starting five with Quick and Barrett in the lineup. Like that looks pretty good rolling down. Like Pirtle's probably your weakest link. And even then, like he's still a very good starting center in the NBA. So you got to find production from like younger guys like Grady off the bench, Grady Dick, Jacoby Walter, Jamal Shed. Like these guys need to step up a little bit. Colin Murray Boyles has been very good. Like in their game versus the Knicks, he was one of the only players with a positive plus minus in the box score. I think he had like 6, 5, and 4. Made an impact while he was out there. They just need guys to not just make an impact, but like also score the ball. Like if you're gonna go against the Knicks, you gotta have to put up more than 101 points.
Yeah, and I feel like the Raptors calling card, at different times can be their pesky defense, but sometimes when your offense isn't going or you don't have as many bodies, it can make things difficult as well. I think one of the guys that's been a nice new addition to their team this year has been Mamu Kilishvili on the Raptors has been a nice addition for
He
their
does
team
score it. He scores
because
it.
he can score, he can rebound, he can shoot for a big man. He's been pretty good. Was good for those Spurs teams the last few years now on this Raptors team. But yeah, definitely in a bit of a rut, looking to come out of it here going forward. Like you said, Ben, very impressive that they were able to really win their group. In a pretty stacked group coming in. But now we'll have a tough stretch coming up with 5 of their next 6 games away from Toronto. So looking to try to get back into rhythm there. But it is the New York Knicks advancing here, and the Knicks, I mean, they, besides Jalen Brunson, who continues his incredible start to the season, they got production from everywhere across the board in their starting lineup as well. I mean, Mikal Bridges was good, Towns was great on the boards, OG solid. Josh Hart hit a couple dagger threes in the fourth quarter to really blow the game open. He had 21 points, and now they after a you know inconsistent start to the season are now second in the East at 17-7. They've won their last 4 and will now face the Magic here on a Saturday at 5:30 in Las Vegas for the I guess the semifinal of the NBA Cup in the Eastern Conference. This is already going to be the third time that these two teams are playing this season, both times in New York with the two teams splitting. And interestingly, Ben, both of these games for Orlando was when, one of their star players got hurt. Paulo Banchero got hurt in the November 12th game. And then on Sunday, that's when Franz Wagner got hurt with the left knee injury. So third time, hopefully third time's the charm, and both these teams can, stay healthy in here. But Ben, starting off with this matchup here between the Knicks and the Magic, what's the first thing that you're looking at with these two teams?
Well, I already kind of mentioned this in this episode, but that's all right. The Magic. I'm gonna be looking for kid Jalen Suggs really step up and be physical and like get in the mid range lanes for Brunson when he's trying to find a good mid range look and like stop him and give Brunson confusion. I think that matchup, those two guys going at it's gonna be the matchup I'm gonna be most watching, because Suggs is shown to be a pretty good defender before for a guard. I'm wondering if he can just somehow step it up and give Brunson some trouble in this big game when we know Brunson he often can find ways in these big games. He loves these big moments, and he can often find moments to where he can just hit those clutch jump shots and stuff. And the Magic really gotta figure out how they can slow that down. Brunson in the clutch and hitting big shots. I'll be watching to see how he does with that in this game. And interesting to see for the Magic. Can Bane and Paulo have big scoring games somehow in this one with no Franz? Can their stars do just well enough to somehow lead them to a big win over the Knicks? That would sure be big for Orlando if they could win this game.
Yeah, Nick, for the Orlando Magic coming into this game, what do you think is going to be more important for them, offense or defense, against this high-powered Knicks team?
That's a good question. I would love to say both, as the inner coach in me still loves to stress, playing well on both ends. However, I think probably offense. I mean, the Knicks have so many weapons. Even if Jalen Suggs does do well against the other Jalen Brunson, well enough to hold him under 20 and limit his mid range opportunities, like you're saying, Ben. Like Mikhail's gonna get 15 shots and he's gonna have a high percentage of if Brunson is stifled, it means like you're probably helping off somebody else and they're gonna find those open shots. So you gotta have a response to that. And that's why I'd say offense. Bane has to hit shots. They don't have a very they don't have a very high level 3-point shooting team. So like the guys who do shoot them are gonna have to make them. So that's why I would say offense. Honestly, I think it's funny that it's the third time these teams are matched up and they're flying all the way across the country to do it. Uh, but I am still looking forward to the matchup because we get to talk about it like a playoff game because it is high stakes and the guys it's single elimination and it's money on the line and you kind of get to break it down and analyze it like a playoff series like within matchups like Jalen Brunson versus Jalen Suggs. So I'm here for it. It's a little silly, but I'm here for it.
No, it definitely is exciting. I think, and that point of them going to Vegas, I think is where I kind of want to go to next because I mean it is a neutral site here for these two teams. Who do you guys think this could favor in this situation? Because obviously
Definitely New
it's the
York.
Knicks. Knick fans are obviously going to travel, but they also have
Yeah,
struggled on the
New
road a
York.
lot this year. I mean, they're 17-7, but a big reason is because they're 13-1 in Madison Square Garden, and they've probably had the most home-heavy schedule in the league. 14 of their 24 games have been at home. They're just 4-6 on the road, which is actually the worst of any of the teams that are top 8 in the Eastern Conference right now. And Orlando's going to come into this situation as the underdog without their leading scorer, Franz Wagner, going in against a Knicks team where there are going to be a lot of Knicks fans. They're expected to win. So Ben, in a neutral site, who do you think that kind of favors in this matchup?
It's tough. Both of these teams, to me, just seem to tend to play pretty well at home, and they're a bit worse on the road. But I think, yeah, Knicks fans travel good, and I think there's Knicks fans that are even, living out on the West Coast that will just show up to the game and stuff. Take advantage of this with seeing their team play. And I think the Knicks fans they're gonna get crazy like they would in like the Madison Square Garden for the ones that are there, and there'll be some Magic fans there. But I think the New York, I guess having more fans behind their back for this one, I'm guessing will be able to help them. And I think I feel like New York is a team that is more ready for this big stage, even more ready to like get over the hump. But it should be a good game. It's kind of a tough one to predict.
Yeah, Nick, who do you think is gonna pull this one out?
I would say I would lean with the Knicks, just because I think they have a better shot at finding those open shots. I think their second counter punch is better than Orlando's. I don't even think I know what Orlando's second sort of counter is. And in terms of winning, which is like I use this with my team a lot this year, like you got to impose your own identity onto theirs and kind of like smother and snuff theirs out. And I think it'll be easier for the Knicks to do that in terms of like not allowing the guys who need to hit the shots for Orlando to do what they need to do.
Yeah, Orlando is definitely gonna have to knock down some threes. In this game, they're gonna need some of their role guys to step up, especially with Franz out. They'll need Anthony Black
Yeah, Da
once
Silva's been
again.
struggling. Black's been playing well.
Yeah, Anthony Black's been good. But overall from three, they're still, not the, the greatest team in the world. And, the Knicks, I think this is gonna be such a big matchup for them. Not only because, it's the NBA Cup and it's a chance to win all the money, but I think that they are I mean, they're playing really well over the last while or last few weeks of the season here. Ben, how much do you think the Knicks want to make it to the championship or obviously win the NBA Cup, not just for the money, but to also gauge themselves against whoever comes out of the Western Conference matchup between the Spurs and the Thunder that we'll get to later?
Yeah, I would think with the Knicks getting this far that they're like, well, we might as well really want to win it all. And that's my guess on what they're thinking, and I think it would help them, to try to win it all. Of course, see if they could get some more confidence for the postseason and stuff, and see also what like Brown got for them in these big games, in this season tournament. This will help Mike Brown and this whole team, and kind of get a gauge on, what it could be like in like the real, postseason when it's really gonna matter.
Yeah, for sure. So, Ben, are you going with New York as well for this game?
Yeah, I think I have to pick New York for this game just because I think just recently they've been playing like the best team in the Eastern Conference. They've seemed to get more figured out. They've seemed to figure things out more as a team. They seem to be getting more comfortable with Mike Brown system, and I just think it could be a close game, but the Knicks have the better scoring punches to come to get it done the clutch like Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how the Magic play on this big stage, though, in Vegas. Because although they've made the playoffs the last couple of seasons, I mean, besides like the game six or game seven against Cleveland a couple of years ago, haven't really had any type of bright spot games. Now you're in Vegas against the New York Knicks. This is a bit of a primetime sort of matchup here with stakes on the line. So that should be a lot of fun. That game again will be Saturday at 5:30 on Prime in Vegas. Now let's talk about the Western Conference matchups on Tuesday. First, let's start off with the Thunder, man. Holy moly, they defeated the Phoenix Suns by 49 points, 138 to 89. Of course, no Devin Booker in this game for the Suns, but The Thunder, with this win, have now tied the 2016 Golden State Warriors for the greatest start to a season in NBA history. 24-1 on the season. And again, the only loss was by 2 points. And in the game, they had led by 24 points. I'll always bring that up because there's a realistic world where they could be 25-0 right now. I mean, Nick, the way that the Thunder have been playing off of a championship year last year has been unbelievable.
Yeah, and they're doing it not even at full strength. J Dub missed the first 17 games. I Heart's been out the last handful of games. Like, it doesn't matter who is in the lineup, it seems, who's on the other side of the ball that's matching up against them. They're gonna go out and do what they need to do to win every single night. And versus Phoenix, it was no different. And in fact, it was the most emphatic win of the year, a 49-point blowout. I checked the score like halfway through the second or third quarter, and it was like 94-56. I was pretty blown away when I saw that.
Yeah, Ben. I mean, it really has been crazy. I mean, there's not really much more you can say about them, especially like from this game that hasn't already been said. Besides the Grayson Allen or push or elbow to Chet Holmgren, the flagrant two.
Down
Is this?
40. That's the thing. Like down 40.
Yeah, go ahead, Nick. You sound like you want to get something off your chest
I
with
mean,
this.
yeah, I watched J Dub talk about it after the game, and he's right. Like Grayson's always been that kind of sort of player. I mean, he's bona fide NBA $100 million plus, like good, very good career NBA player. But then back to his days at Duke, like he's had a reputation as being sort of dirty and making cheap shot plays, and you know hasn't been in hasn't made a headline for that in a while, but did the other night. Down 40 is just not a great look, and doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Honestly, it's just not a good look.
Yeah, especially when Ben. I mean, he's been really good this year. I mean, we haven't talked about a whole lot about it on this podcast, but the Phoenix Suns have been good so far. Like going into that game, they're 14-10 on the season with Jalen Green, only playing a game and a half. So far this season, Devin Booker's been awesome. Dylan Brooks has been, a revelation offensively. He's averaging like 21 points a game on the season. It really is crazy. But one of the biggest reasons is, the play of, really the two role playing shooters, Colin Gillespie and Grayson Allen. And they've both been good, but Grayson Allen, especially averaging 16 a game. But then you have those plays like that remind you of, the reputation and why, he's looked at as, one of the dirtiest guys in the league.
Yeah, Grayson Allen must have been feeling bad about what was going on in the game with the Suns, and well, maybe he brought some intensity to try to get the Suns some more energy going forward. They'll left them to being even better after this game, but yeah, I knew this was going to be pretty difficult against the Thunder. They had no Devin Booker playing. I was like, oh, that's really not going to help. And yeah, who's going to stop the Thunder this year? I don't know who really. It's going to be pretty hard for other teams, even though there are some other really good teams out there in the NBA. But the Thunder are just unreal. Like. I know this is like earlier on in the season still, but with what I've seen for them just recently, I think this is the greatest team I've watched in my lifetime so far. And I wouldn't be surprised if they continued this. They're just like I know 2016 Warriors and those Warrior Dynasty teams were some of the best teams I'd watched too, but this Thunder team, boy, I mean, they're to have they could start a dynasty themselves. What I'm seeing, and they're even better defensively right now with what they have going than what those Warriors teams had. Like, and these guys on the Thunder are just so bought into what Mark Dignop's doing with them. It's unbelievable, and Thunder are just so well balanced. These guys just complement each other so far. They're almost like a perfect team.
I don't think that's a hot take at
It's
all.
just it's just yeah. I'm just blown with the thunder. Credit to them, you know, and credit to them and season tournament games just dominated, perfect for them.
Yeah, I don't think best team seen in Lifetime is a hot take at all.
No, I've brought it up earlier when this season started, even before the season started. How I feel like this team could get the record for the best record in NBA history, and not even have to like go that hard to get this. I think later in the season, I feel like teams will maybe start to get up a little bit more for these. Like, I don't really know how to gauge how it'll be later on in the season. But I mean, right now they're just blowing out these teams. I mean, their net rating, Nick, is 17.2. They're beating teams by 17 points per 100 possessions, and it's absolutely unreal. Like Ben said, they've got the reigning MVP of the league. Shea has been even more ridiculous this season. I mean, I haven't even really paid attention to his counting stats a lot this season, just because I've expected the Thunder to get off to a hot start. But the numbers: 32 points in 33 minutes a game, 5 boards, 6 assists. In the shooting splits, he's shooting 56% from the field, 45 from three on 5 attempts per game, and 88 at the line on 10 attempts per game. I mean, he's been ridiculous. The whole Thunder team has been ridiculous. And yeah, I don't think it's that crazy to say that this could be the best team that we've seen in our lifetime. you know?
Yeah, I don't have much to add. It'd be really cool to see them break the record, but I do think they're right. The teams will start getting up even more at the end of the season just to make it more difficult for them to do that. But another thing you like can't really predict is whether or not teams will be tanking towards the end of the season or playing very hard to fight for a playoff spot. So it'll depend on their schedule towards the end of the season, but I do think guys will get up more towards the end as it goes. Like 24-1, it'll get up more for 25-1, and then more for 26-1, and then more, as it goes.
Yeah, and I mean they'll also have to get blessed with the injury or like health, as well throughout the season. I know J Dub's been out for a while, but if Shea were to somehow go down, he's been able to play in 24 of the 25 games. I mean, I think it'd be the biggest difference if he, was
Yeah.
off the court. Even though I mean their other role players are ridiculous. Like AJ Mitchell's the guy that stepped up in the rotation this year and has been, awesome. Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe have been really good as well. Yeah, Thunder are really good, blowing out the Suns, and now get to play in an intriguing matchup against the Spurs after the San Antonio Spurs really blew out the Lakers on Wednesday night, 132 to 119. Ben, in this game, the Lakers were fully healthy. LeBron and Luka have been in and out of the lineup, the last few games, but they brought out their full healthy squad for the most part in this game, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they had their entire healthy squad and really couldn't get it going against this Spurs team who again had been without Victor Wembanyama for a little while. Thought he would be in this game. He didn't play this game, but the Spurs just looked awesome.
Yeah, credit to Ian and Tony. I've been really impressed with how guys have stepped up without Wemby. Well, defense. I mean, without Wemby, it has been the best. It's hard without Wemby there defensively because Wemby's just clearly the anchor to their defense when he's playing. But like on offense, man, they just continue to have things really flowing even without Wemby. They're playing at a great fast pace that's been working for them. Like De'Aaron Fox, he's fit really well into the system that Mitch Johnson has run there ever since he's come back. I think De'Aaron Fox looked like one of the better guards in the NBA with how he's been playing. Just you know, getting some assists, just putting up a bunch of points, and uh, Stefan Cancel, of course, he had that big 30-point outing in the Lakers game, and it's good to see Dylan Harper back. He was some good double-digit scoring outings off the bench for them. And San Antonio, yeah, I think Mitch Johnson has done a great job of getting those guys to buy in, even with Wemby being out. They just seem to somehow, even with Wemby being out, continue to play some great balanced basketball, and they seem to be focused on, what's best for the team, and I think the Spurs have done a great job, and I hope they could get Wemby back coming up against the Thunder to make that game an exciting matchup.
Yeah, for sure. But Nick, I mean, yeah, like Ben has said, I mean, the Spurs offense it's looked like Spurs basketball. It's looked pretty gorgeous out there with the ball movement and, all these guards really playing well.
Yeah, and like Ben mentioned as well, there's guys stepping up off the bench. Dylan Harper, a couple double-digit scoring nights. From our episode or Pirtle earlier, Justin Champagne's brother Julian he had 16 off the bench in this Lakers game. But I would like to remind everybody that this was the Lakers, and they lack a lot of perimeter defense. And like they had an early lead in this one. It was a good competitive game. Um, but like their perimeter defense is where their weakest part of their defense, and gave up 30 to Steph combined with 20 for De'Aaron Fox. Both teams shot above 40% from three, so like it was a good competitive game. But yeah, I would say like the Lakers cracks were showing for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And the Spurs did a good job getting the Lakers into foul trouble too. Reeves and Luka each got 5 fouls in the game. And Austin Reeves, who's had a spectacular year so far, but had a struggle in this game. 15 points on 16 shots in 40 minutes. It hurts for the Lakers that you essentially wasted an 8 3-pointers game from Marcus Smart that came in a loss. Like that, I don't know how many more times that's going to happen. He had 26 off the bench in this game.
Did you guys
But
see LeBron's dunk on Cornette?
that was ridiculous. I mean, the man. I mean, yeah, this is our first time being out since LeBron had that, bounce back game in Philadelphia, closed out their win against the Sixers, and then has that crazy dunk in, the Spurs game. 19, 15, and 8 for the man who's going to be 41 years old in about 20 days. So, it still is incredible what he's able to do, even, to a lesser extent than, in previous years. But the Spurs, I love their roster balance that they've gotten, especially for this year's team. Like, it feels like everyone on their roster is comfortable with their role and they know exactly what they need to do on a given night, especially when a guy like Wemby is out. Like, in your starting lineup and your second unit, I feel like there's the perfect, dose of scorers, defenders, energy guys, rebounders, and it works out perfectly. Like, their starting lineup in this particular game was Fox, Castle, and Vassell. Vassell didn't even have that great of a shooting game. He's been on a tear this season as well. Along with Harrison Barnes and Luke Cornett defensively. Off the bench, you have Dylan Harper, who I love that they keep bringing him off the bench because he's still a rookie. He's had some games where he hasn't played the best. He can just play in the second unit and play against second units. Keldon Johnson, energy guy who looks like he's comfortable in that position. Champagnie is a three-point shooter. Kelly Olynyk coming in off the bench is that, offensive hub who can shoot, pass. He's a perfect connector for that Spurs offense. And the
Yeah,
fact that when Wemby comes back into the lineup, I mean, he'll start for Cornette, and then really the worst player in your rotation is going to be Luke Cornett. Like, that's going to be really good. I mean, their rotation is going to be so good that guys like, Kelly Olynyk, Jeremy Sohan aren't even going to be able to play because that's how deep they
Malachi
are.
Branham.
Yeah, Branham, Bismack, or Malachi Branham, I think now is on he's now on the Wizards. He's
Oh,
now on the
oops.
Wizards. He got traded in the offseason. But, even like the reason they traded him is because they knew he can't get into the game with this type of team. Carter Bryant can't get in. Bismack Biyombo can't play. Like, they just have a very well-rounded team, and I am very excited. We can get to it next. I'm very excited for this Spurs matchup here because we've been singing the Thunder's praises here on this episode, but the Spurs could be a team that could potentially be a competitor for them, in the Western Conference this season. Hopefully, Victor Wembanyama is back for the game on Saturday. I'm not sure what his status is right now as of we're recording. I'll look it up right now. But, Ben, if he is able to play in this sort of matchup, I think this will be a lot of fun for NBA fans because the Spurs and the Thunder will play 3 times in December, once on Saturday, once on December 23rd, and then on Christmas Day in Oklahoma City. So we'll get to see that sort of, like we were talking about earlier, that sort of playoff adjustment sort of thing in the regular season between the Spurs and the Thunder.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. I really praised his teams for really, just being well balanced and all the players seem to buy in well. I can't wait to see I can't wait to see how that matches up between those teams on the court. But I hope the Spurs get Wemby back, especially for this in-season tournament game coming up. Because even though the Thunder have been dominant recently on another level, I think it will be a fun, good game. Wemby, I think, could get some challenges to the Thunder that they haven't seen in a little while. If he's able to play, maybe that could throw the Thunder off a bit. Who knows? But yeah, seeing Wemby match up against Chet and Jay, it's definitely phenomenal NBA entertainment right there. If we can get that in the in-season tournament, and we will be intrigued to see how the Spurs can step up against that dominant Thunder team. See if they can somehow stand any chance of being close, competitive against them, unlike some other teams.
Well, unlike the whole rest of the league, let's be real. That's just the type of
Except
season it's
Portland.
been. Yeah,
Yeah,
except
unlike
Portland, who did also lose to them
yeah,
later in the
most teams in the
season. So
league.
it,
Yeah,
it,
it's true.
it really has been unreal. But Nick, what do you think is going to be important in this matchup for both teams? Because again, this should be a very high-powered matchup here between these two teams. If Wembanyama is playing, well, we'll talk about this. Thinking that he is playing because there is a chance that he'll play with the calf or come back from the calf injury. What do you think is going to be the biggest keys for the Spurs in this matchup against Oklahoma City?
Well, I would say if Wemby is playing, then it'll be Thunder 10-point favorites. If Wemby isn't playing, it'll be Thunder 20-point favorites. That's about the difference that I see. Um, nah, key points. I would say that the Spurs are going to have to defend. They're going to have to keep it sort of a lower scoring game because if you let the Thunder put up 125, I don't think you're catching them. So you'll have to start with like I would say transition defense because that's where the Thunder thrive. Is in transition and then and getting a lot of shots up. You got to force them to turn it over. You got to ball pressure them. You got to get back after a make. Uh, and then the other thing is like with the spread thing that I said, like even if Vic is playing, it'll be like his first game back in a couple weeks. So like I think the 3-game series here in December is a very interesting thing to watch, especially to see what it looks like by Christmas. Like that'll be the best game on Christmas Day.
Yeah, going in, that definitely looks like it. Besides, there's also Christmas is just going to be a lot of fun because I know there's also the Rockets Lakers game, which I think will be a lot of fun too. A lot of great matchups this year on Christmas, but no, for sure. You can't turn the ball over against the Thunder. That's how they've gotten so many teams this year. I mean, they force 18 turnovers a game. The Thunder, and that's a big
Sounds like
deal
my
against this.
guys. Sounds like my freshman.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, that's going to be a huge point of emphasis in this game, and the Spurs are going to need to find some offense from some guys. I mean, we'll see how Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, De'Aaron Fox can and even Devin Vassell how they fare against this incredible Thunder defensive unit, especially on the perimeter. If Wemby's back, I think that's going to be so important for them to have a big guy in the post that they can go to and have another another source of offense that isn't just the guards. Because I mean, that's a big reason why they were able to, beat the Lakers, like you said, Nick, is because perimeter defense and the Los Angeles Lakers don't go together. Especially to start off this season. So we'll see how it fares for the Spurs in this particular matchup. But no, what you said about the 3-game playoff matchup, I think that'll be a lot of fun to watch too. Also because for all 3 games, they're in different locations. Like this game, they're in Vegas, then they're in San Antonio, then they're in OKC on Christmas. So lots of different. I think there are a lot of things you could learn from these 3 matchups if everyone is healthy and on the floor.
Absolutely.
Ben, what are you most looking forward to seeing from this matchup on Saturday night?
Well, I'm interested in seeing what the guard play with both teams. Spurs on offense, with their guards. Will they be able to? Will Fox Castle somehow be able to really get going, really be feeling it against them? But I know those Thunder guards. Wow, they got some pretty good defensive guards that are tough to score on. It's gonna be a new big challenge there for De'Aaron Fox and his Spurs guards in that game. And yeah, I really like what Nick said earlier. I agree with him. A big key for the Spurs that I'm going to be watching to see if they can do is they could come back, force turnovers on the Thunder themselves, and then really run out in transition you know, and hopefully, put up, a nice number of shots and hopefully they just fall in. Yeah, definitely a good key for the Spurs. And Wemby could play him versus Chet. Boy, that defense down low by those guys and them going at it, that would definitely be an intriguing, entertaining, thing.
Yeah. So if let's see, I know obviously, like you said, Nick, the spread will favor the Thunder probably pretty heavily into that game. I'm not sure how heavily. Obviously, it depends on if Wemby is back for the game. But if Wemby is playing, if we put like percentages on it, what do you think the favorite is on that side? Like, is it 70-30 Thunder, 80-20 Thunder? Like, what are we looking at?
85-15. It's his
If
first
Wemby's
game
playing
back.
still. Wow.
I mean,
Ben, what do you think?
in there's money on the line. Thunder 24-1 in Vegas. They've been there before.
uh,
Spurs haven't played a playoff game.
We'll see. Ben, what do you think? What do you think?
I think my odds go like, oh, just a bit higher. Say uh, 75 and 25, a tad bit higher. I mean, yeah, I know it'd be Wemby's first game coming back, but I mean, this would be one of the better teams the Thunder face so far this year. The Spurs with Wemby, if he could get healthy for this game, and if he can, well, it could for the Thunder off a bit. I know the Thunder have been so dominant, but it won't be an easy matchup for them, and it's kind of a who knows with Wemby facts. Maybe just somehow something would click, but I'm thinking, yeah, most likely the Thunder will win. It's hard to bet against the Thunder of how good they are. I would
Yeah.
have to pick the Thunder to win right now, of course.
Yeah, no question. But like we were talking about with the Knicks Magic game, we'll see how it is fan wise for the
Yeah,
game in a neutral site. Because I actually think that because of Victor Wembanyama, I think there would be more Spurs fans than Thunder fans. Although I'm not sure because obviously the Thunder are the defending champs, but I feel like Wemby is such a big name. I mean, Shea is too. It should be a great game, like across the board with all those things in mind. But it is hard to bet against
I
some of the
think
Thunder.
geographically, Oklahoma City is a bit closer to Vegas than San Antonio.
Yeah, I know Spurs fans definitely travel though, especially when
Yeah.
they're good. So, but Wemby fans in Vegas, I think there will be more Wemby fans in
Well,
Vegas than Shea fans.
Wemby is an alien, and Area 51 is in Vegas, so maybe he'll have some
Yeah.
long distance
Yeah.
family at the game.
Maybe there will be some aliens sitting courtside to watch Wemby back for that game. That game again will be Saturday at 9 o'clock. The Knicks Magic game Saturday at 5:30, and then whoever wins those two games will play in the NBA Cup championship game on Tuesday night at 8:30. In our next episode coming out Tuesday, we will recap these two games from Saturday, preview the championship, and talk about whatever else happens around the association because it is such a crazy league. But that is all for us here. If you guys did enjoy this video, leave a like, subscribe for more NBA content. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and we will catch you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.